Genesis 29. So Jacob moved on and came to the land of the eastern people. He saw in the field a well with 3 flocks of sheep lying beside it, because the flocks were watered from the well. Now a large stone covered the mouth of the well. When all the flocks were gathered there, the shepherds would roll the stone off the mouth of the well and water the sheep. Then they would put the stone back in its place over the well's mouth. Jacob asked them, "My brothers, where are you from?" They replied, "We're from Haran." So he said to them, "Do you know Laban, the grandson of Nahor?" "We know him," they said. "Is he well?" Jacob asked. They replied, "He is well." "Now look, here comes his daughter Rachel with the sheep." Then Jacob said, "Since it is still the middle of the day, it is not time for the flocks to be gathered. You should water the sheep and then go and let them graze some more." "We can't," they said, "until all the flocks are gathered at the stone and the stone is rolled from the mouth of the well. Then we water the sheep." While he was still speaking with them, Rachel arrived and her father's sheep, for she was tending them. When Jacob saw Rachel, the daughter of his uncle Laban, and the sheep of his uncle Laban, he went over and rolled the stone off the mouth of the well and watered the sheep of his uncle Laban. Then Jacob kissed Rachel and began to weep loudly. When Jacob explained to Rachel that he was a relative of her father and the son of Rebekah, she ran and told her father. When Laban heard the news about Jacob, his sister's son, he rushed out to meet him. He embraced him and kissed him and brought him to his house. Jacob told Laban how he was related to him. Then Laban said to him, "You are indeed my own flesh and blood." So Jacob stayed with him for a month. Then Laban said to Jacob, "Should you work for me for nothing because you are my relative? Tell me what your wages should be." Now Laban had 2 daughters. The older was named Leah, and the younger was Rachel. Leah's eyes were tender, but Rachel had lovely figure and beautiful appearance. Since Jacob had fallen in love with Rachel, he said, "I'll serve you 7 years in exchange for your younger daughter, Rachel." Laban explained, "I'd rather give her to you than to another man. Stay with me." So Jacob worked for 7 years to acquire Rachel, but they seemed like only a few days to him because his love for her was so great. Finally, Jacob said to Laban, "Give me my wife, for my time of service is up, and I want to sleep with her." So Laban invited all the people of the place and prepared a feast. In the evening, he brought his daughter Leah to Jacob, and he slept with her. Laban gave his female servant Zilpah to his daughter Leah to be her servant. In the morning, Jacob discovered it was Leah. So Jacob said to Laban, "What in the world have you done to me? Didn't I work for you in exchange for Rachel? Why have you tricked me?" "It is not our custom," Laban replied, "to give the younger daughter in marriage before the firstborn. Complete my older daughter's bridal week, then we will give you the younger one too in exchange for 7 more years of work." Jacob did as Laban said. When Jacob completed Leah's bridal week, Laban gave him his daughter Rachel to be his wife. Laban gave his female servant Bilhah to his daughter Rachel to be her servant. Jacob slept with Rachel as well. He also loved Rachel more than Leah. Then he worked for Laban for 7 more years. When the Lord saw that Leah was unloved, he enabled her to become pregnant while Rachel remained childless. So Leah became pregnant and gave birth to a son. She named him Reuben, for she said, "The Lord has looked with pity on my oppressed condition. Surely my husband will love me now." She became pregnant again and had another son. She said, "Because the Lord heard that I was unloved, he gave me this one too." So she named him Simeon. She became pregnant again and had another son. She said, "Now this time my husband will show me affection because I have given birth to 3 sons for him." That is why he is named Levi. She became pregnant again and had another son. She said, "This time I will praise the Lord." That is why she named him Judah. Then she stopped having children. The utter deception. I know. It's a total deception there. Welcome in. So, this is one of those very interesting passages, but what we have here is an interesting thing going on. So don't move on and get ready and go, "Oh, we got to get into the marriage and that deception and all this." Okay, we need to start out with Jacob is going to return to the land of his mother. That's what we have. So it is the land where Abraham is from. So these are relatives of Abraham and relatives of his mother. So this is where Isaac and Rebekah have sent him. He has been successful in finding them. He stumbles upon this flock, this watering hole. There are several people there. It's the middle of the day. So when we get to the middle of the day, it is not the correct time for watering. Jacob knows this. Jacob has apparently some skill and expertise in being a shepherd. His brother is the one who goes out and hunts game. So it's like Jacob is the one who is the shepherd. And we'll see that that proves true as he cares for the sheep going forward. So he knows what's happening. The mouth is covered. He's inquiring of the men. He's learning about them. Simultaneously, Rachel just happens to be coming to the well. Now, remember what happened at the well with his mother. The servant is at the well, and Rebekah comes and offers to water the camels of the servant. Here, there is no waiting to say, "Hey, can you give me some water?" It is as soon as Rachel shows up, he uncovers the mouth, rolls the stone away, and then he waters the sheep. So he has learned the process. He knows it's the wrong time of day. He takes and he uncovers it. He rolls the stone away. He begins to water the sheep. So just like his mother did, his mother watered the camels for the servant. Here, he waters the sheep for the family. So both of them serve in this role of bringing water to those in need, to the animals in need. So he kisses Rachel, and then he began to weep loudly. He's found family. He made it. He is here. He is in some ways potentially safe. Now, also notice that what happens again. So she goes and tells her father of what's going on. When Laban heard the news about Jacob, his sister's son, he rushed to meet them. So just like when he heard the event happen with the servant of Abraham at the well, Laban is running to the well. He runs there to the well. One of the other things that we're going to see overlap is when all of the gifts were given to Rebekah, he was trying to get Rebekah to stay longer, so there's potential for him receiving more gifts because there were gifts given to the family as well as to Rebekah. So if she stays longer, maybe there's more gifts. We're going to see Laban do the same thing. How can I get Jacob to stay here longer? Now, Jacob didn't come with any herds and flocks and all of that. He fled and left all of that behind. He's not bringing all of them along, so he has come empty-handed. So when he's negotiating, he can't negotiate for the daughters with, "I'm going to give you sheep and goats and gold and silver and camels." He has none of it here. He has none of it here. He did not leave his father and mother's house with an entourage and servants. Now, it's interesting, though. Why didn't he? Why couldn't he have done that? Why couldn't mom and dad have sent him with? Because he has already gotten the birthright. So he should have access to flocks and herds and sheep to be able to come here with servants and everything else to come and find a wife. He could have been sent away full. Instead, it's like he is fleeing from his brother, so he doesn't bring anything. He comes empty-handed and all of that. So he gets to Laban, and he's there, and he starts working for him. And a month into being around, he says, hey, you shouldn't work for free. Now, this seems like a genuine, honest thing. But, like, you just got to see the character of Laban. Like, there is no, I'm trying to be honest here and pay you. Now, Jacob's the one that sets the terms, though. Jacob's the one that sets the terms. Like, should work for me. Name your wages. He says. Okay, they're describing it. Following, I'll serve you 7 years in exchange for your younger daughter Rachel. Why did he say 7 years? I mean, 7 being the number of totality and completeness. Oh, I know. I know he needs to have a dowry, but I'm not assuming that 7 years worth of wages is what a dowry would require. I'm thinking he could have said, I'll work for 3 years. I'll work for 2 years. I'm saying, why 7 years? Laban doesn't, negotiate in any way around it. And I know 7 is symbolic, so maybe it's just in the story as symbolic, but I'm thinking he is overplaying like when someone's desperate, they're desperate and they're willing to pay more than they should for something, you take advantage of them. So, well, like he could have had a dowry. Honestly, he could have said, I'll send back to my family and we'll bring a dowry for her. But he's working for wages. He also went here with the purpose of getting married to one of the daughters. So there's that. So he does work for 7 years, and at the end of the 7 years, he asks for her hand. And one of the things they point out is the 7 years seemed like but a few days because of his love for her was so great. So while I'm asking the question, shouldn't he have been paying less, they're making the statement of it seemed like nothing in order to get the hand of Rachel. Now, I don't know how old Rachel is. But she's the younger one, and you're waiting 7 years to marry. That seems like a very long engagement, okay? That also seems like a long time. Maybe not in today's day and age, but when, like when I was growing up, people weren't dating for 7 years before they got married, unless they started dating in, like a freshman in high school. Then maybe it'd be 7 years. But otherwise, like if you met, senior year, like, or junior, senior year, and you got out of school, you weren't going to college, you might have got married in 2 years out of high school. If you're going on to college, then maybe you waited. If you met in college, you married once you got out of college. Like, 4 or 5 years was the max, not 7. Now it's longer today. But as he is working, shouldn't in this 7-year period of time, just thinking out loud here, shouldn't in the 7-year period of time, he understood the customs that you don't marry the younger daughter off before the older daughter, and should have been tipped off that his uncle might do something like this? Now, I don't fault him for the whole, he didn't know that it was the wrong daughter that went into him, because there would have been potentially, if she's wearing a veil, if she's covered, if it's at night, if he'd been drinking, any of those things could have happened, and he might not have realized it at the time. We don't know what they actually look like, so we don't know if they're the same height, if they're the same weight, if they're the same build. I mean, we don't know any of those things about the way they look. So I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt, because sometimes sisters look alike and sometimes their voices are very similar too. So I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt of not being smart enough to figure it out before he went through with it. Now, Laban invited all the people. Let me see. Morning, he discovered it was Leah. Complete your To complete my older daughter's bridal week. So there's a bridal week. So this is where we get a little bit of confusion in here. Bridal week. So it is going to be till the end of the celebration, the marriage ceremony, an entire week of festivities. So she has a whole bridal week to exchange for 7 more years of work. Jacob did as Laban said. Okay, I'm thinking, no, I'm not giving you another 7 years of work. I worked 7 years for this one. I want a half-price discount on that one. I'm like, I'm not just accepting another 7 years, but Jacob is thinking he is going to be 7 more years for Rachel, in essence. So, sure, 7 more years. I will give a dowry for that one. But I'm thinking, hey, if you couldn't marry the older one off and you had to dupe me into it, I shouldn't be paying 7 years labor. But he goes along with it. It makes the story uniform, too. Both daughters are given the same value. That's a good thing. So 14-year engagement. No, not necessarily. 14 years of work. So this time he doesn't wait 7 years. He's only waiting 7 days. So it's like a wedding 7 days later. That's what he says. He works 7 days, wait 7 days later for Leah's bridal week to be over. Then he marries Rachel. So their anniversary is a week apart. But he works for Laban for Leah after the marriage of Leah. So he got duped into the wrong marriage. And so the two daughters, the two wives are married a week apart. Or it could be 10 days, whatever it is, but it's a full, hey, she needs her bridal week. And then we'll do the wedding. The wedding is going to happen. So it's not I have to wait 7 more years to marry her again. He's already waited the 7 years. He does get to marry her, but he has to work 7 years on the backside to pay for Leah. So asking for the wife discount. They not settle well for the dinner conference. I know, Kenny, but I'm just thinking in my brain, if I got duped, I'm not going along. I'm going to negotiate. That's just what I'm thinking. I'm going to negotiate here. He doesn't do any of those things. Also, they come along with servants. So each one of them has a servant. We'll go look up names in just a minute. I just want to finish the story here first. So then Leah has children. The first one is named Reuben. The name Reuben means, look, a son. Look, a son. You should be happy with me now. You should love me now. I've given you a son. The next one is Simeon. Simeon is derived from the verbal root of shema, which means hearing. The name is appropriate since it reminds the Lord has heard. So the Lord has heard I'm unloved. So I'm going to name my son having been heard. The third one is Levi. Levi, the precise meaning of the name is debated, which was appreciated because it sounds like the verb lava, to join, used in the statement recorded earlier in the verse. He has showed me affection. He has joined with me. I have a son. And then we have Judah. Judah means he will be praised. So instead of trying to get love for her father or from her husband, she decides she's going to turn and just praise God. So that's what we got going on. Got a Hawaiian pizza. Bum, bum, bum. Thank you. I'm watching. Seeing if there's anything else. Okay. So let's go look up Rachel, Leah. I'm trying to think of the servants' names, but we'll find that. So Genesis 30. Am I in the wrong one? Oh, sorry. Is it 29? I'm in 29, actually. Okay, he had 2 daughters. Let's look up their names. Leah. Rachel. Laban's treachery. Zilpah. There we go. I always thought that was a cool sounding name. Zilpah. I don't know that I'd want to name my daughter that. Let's see what the name means. And Bilhah. Okay, there we go. So, make sure you listen so you can say I'm saying it right.
Leah.
So, Leah means weary. Not a great name for a daughter.
Strong's H, 7354. Rachel.
Rachel is a ewe, so it's a female sheep. Not another good name for a daughter.
Strong's H, 2153. Zilpah.
Zilpah, a trickling. Bilhah, troubled.
Strong's H, 1090. Bilhah.
So I'm going to stay away from all of those names for daughters. All right, we got ads coming